And now it's time for more of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. This portion of the show is sponsored in part by Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup. Rancho Leonero, where your wildest Baja dreams come true. Maui Jim Sunglasses, the choice of the best captains. Shimano Rods and Reels, fish with the best. Shimano. And by Yamaha Outboards, official motor sponsor of Let's Talk Hookup. Here we go. Another great hour of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's Talk Hookup. Here's Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Mexa, and Corey Sandin.
Hey, welcome back. Hour number 2, Let's Talk Hookup. Pete Gray here with Corey Sandin. Ricky's out of town this week. He'll be back next weekend, and have a great guest. Our good buddy Greg Stotesbury from AFTCO is here, and we're talking some amazing fish stories here on Let's Talk Hookup this morning. Speaking of amazing fish stories, I want to draw your attention to our good buddy Bryce Miller, who fish with all the time. Bryce is such a great guy. He's a writer for the San Diego Union Tribune. Great article, feature article on the front page of the San Diego Union Tribune today about the Bisbee Black and Blue Marlin Tournament, and a great, 2 pages worth of great pictures and stories that Bryce wrote. So be sure to check that out. If you're out of San Diego County, you can't pick up the paper, just go online, San Diego Union Tribune, check that article out. It's really cool. Good job, Bryce.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, indeed. And we're giving away a phenomenal prize thanks to AFTCO and the generosity of Greg and Bill and Casey and the whole gang over there.
Are you kidding me? One lucky individual, like we were talking about the fillet knives earlier in the show, pretty darn insane. 3 of the fillet knives and 3 of the spools of the Psycho Pro.
Thank you.
Psycho Pro. Thank you. I know. I was just corrected and have to get it right, man. That's definitely some good stuff. The way you're talking about the abrasion resistance is super key.
It's great leader, and we have it in everything from 12 to 300-pound test, and pink and clear. And Psycho means supreme in Japanese.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, it is.
Just so you know.
It's spelled that way.
It is. S-A-I-K-O, which means supreme.
Which means supreme.
Yeah, in
Japanese.
Okay. So, pretty darn cool.
Yeah. That's a big package.
It is. So one lucky winner, 3 fillet knives and 3 new spools of the Psycho
Pro
fluorocarbon. Thank you, Psycho Pro.
Yeah.
And give us a shout, 833-288-0973. The lines are full, but if you get the dial tone, or the ringtone, just understand that you are next in line.
You're in the queue.
Adam will answer your call when there is an open line.
You bet. All right, let's go ahead and jump into those wide open lines.
Let's do it. Let's talk to Mike. Mike calling from Rosemead this morning. Welcome to the show this morning, Mike.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone there.
Morning.
Hey, I got 2 quick questions. This new swordfish fishery going on, as deep as they're going, are they using electric reels, or are they still getting by with larger conventional type reels? And my second question is I'm not much of a online shopper, and I remember in the good old days that you had your parking lot sales and stuff, but I like to go there or to the retail market and get a physical hands-on feel of what I need to buy, and especially clothing. So what retail outlets, aside from the fishing stores, can I look for your products?
Mike's in Rosemead.
In Rosemead. You know, Mike, I'd have to say that I can't tell you specifically what dealer to go to up in that area. I do know that all of the larger tackle dealers, you know, the Meltons, the Fisherman's Landings, the Longfins, all those guys carry pretty good selections of AFTCO clothing. But if you go to the website, we have a store locator on there. That would be your best guide. If you go to AFTCO.com, there's a store locator that'll tell you what dealers have the product. You know, one of the problems with the clothing is we make literally hundreds and hundreds of different items. No dealer carries them all.
Oh, yeah.
So if there's something specifically that you want, ideally you go to a dealer, try it on, and buy it. But if you can't, you can go to the website, and maybe you can even locate a dealer from there that would have the product that you want.
Yeah.
So that's
the Longfin has a whole upstairs of clothing, and they have a lot of AFTCO gear.
Yeah, the Longfin always Tom and Eric and the boys there always carry plenty of AFTCO clothing at the Longfin. Of course, Fisherman's Landing down here has a ton of our product if you're down this way. Yeah. But try the store locator there at the website at AFTCO.com. I know you said you don't like shopping on the web, but might be your best bet to find it. And then the first part of your question about the swordfish, I'd say right now it's about 50-50. About half the guys are using some kind of electrical assist, either a full electric reel or a device to help them wind the outfit up. A lot of cases, guys are leaving the rod in the holder. and grinding on the fish in the rod holder. I got mixed feelings about that. Personally, we don't do that. We pick the rod up, snap it in a harness, and we fight the fish manually.
Yeah.
Not to say that you can't fight them electrically, but if I catch a swordfish, I want to catch the swordfish. I don't want the boat to catch the swordfish. I don't want the electric reel to catch the swordfish. I want to catch it. I want to turn the handle.
I'm with you.
I want to wind it in. I want to adjust the drag. I want to harness up. So AFTCO harness, AFTCO pad, buckle up and start pulling. But guys are doing both. But in my mind, if you catch it on electric gear, you leave the rod in the holder. It's great for the barbecue and to brag to your buddies, but that's about it.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess I better put my electric reel away.
Right?
No, I'm not down on it, Pete. I'm just saying it's just personally, I want to fight the fish.
Yeah, you want to fight the fish.
Yeah,
I understand. That makes sense. It's angling, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, Mike, thanks a lot for the phone call this morning.
Let's talk to Roger. Roger calling from Fullerton this morning. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup, Roger.
Good morning, guys. Happy Thanksgiving.
Same.
Thank you.
Hey, Pete, good luck on that swordfish. I bet Sean down at Fisherman's Processing could smoke some of that up for you. It'd be really great.
Oh, boy. Hank, I'm sure Sean could do a lot of good stuff with that as Fisherman's Processing.
My question for Greg is, about how many employees do you have, and where are the clothing made?
We have, I don't know, we're somewhere close to 100 employees, something like that, and then a whole bunch of reps and outside people. We build clothing in a number of different places, like most clothing that's manufactured, that's cut and sewn. A lot of it's done overseas. We do some things domestically, but primarily it's done overseas, and it just depends on the item, whether it's built in China or Taiwan or Indonesia or a number of different areas where there's large factories that do that kind of cut and sew. But the majority of it's overseas.
Yeah. Now, what about the gear, the guides, the gaffs and such like that?
So almost all of the rod part hardware, matter of fact, all of the rod parts are built domestically. A lot of it right in our factory.
Wow.
Many of the gaffs and all that are all built in our factory. We have a few things that are made overseas, but the majority of what we make is all made right in the factory in Santa Ana as far as rod parts go and consumer hardware.
That's pretty cool. I mean, that's kind of unheard of, right? I mean,
it's unheard of. There's not a lot of that goes on. It's obviously very expensive to do it that way, but we just feel that something like a roller guide or a roller top or a handle that you're going to use on a big game fishing rod that costs $400 to $1,000, we need to be right there controlling the details, controlling the materials, the QC, and building it in-house like we've done it for the last
pretty darn cool.
60-some years.
Yeah. And it's so important to mention.
60 years.
60, I think 58. I think
that's
we're
crazy.
58.
Wow. And it's so important to mention, I know it's been mentioned on the show before, but an American-made company, okay, and how much of a percentage of the proceeds or of the 10, is it 10%?
Yes, it's really over 10% that we've given of our profits, every year for many, many, many years. And, of course, thousands and thousands of hours of time at different fisheries meetings and Department of Fish and Wildlife meetings and you name it. So the company definitely gives back, and that's something that the Shed family has just kept as part of our company credo forever.
Yeah, and Milt from the beginning, and son Bill, and Casey, and you, and a lot of the people at AFTCO are involved in CCA and various organizations that help fight for our rights to go fishing.
Absolutely, and we may talk a little bit later about it, but I just got out Tuesday out of the Pacific Fisheries Management Council meetings up in Costa Mesa dealing with a longline issue that actually came out very favorable.
Huge for us. I talked a little bit about that yesterday, but why don't you describe what that's all about? And Roger, by the way, thanks a lot for the call this morning.
So the Pacific Fisheries Management Council handles everything that goes on in the Western Pacific on the West Coast as far as fisheries go. They control it. They control it all. And they set the regulations and quotas and seasons and gear types and all that. They make all those decisions with influence from the California Department of Fish and Wildlife and the Fish and Game Commission and all that. So they were considering, and they've been considering for a while, adding a shallow set longline fishery to our whole component of West Coast commercial fisheries. And, we're at CCA and myself and many of the others, we're in favor of commercial fishing. We're all about commercial fishing. We think guys should be able to make a living commercial fishing, but we also think it needs to be clean gear. And long lines are not clean gear. They have all kinds of bycatch problems with sharks and turtles and seabirds and mammals and everything else. They also are very effective at catching fish at the target species. So we fought against this shallow set long line scoping, which is basically the scoping is think of it in terms as the preliminary. Before they put a permanent fishery in, they scope it, which means they examine it, they issue EFPs, which are experimental fishing permits, and they actually go out and start to establish the fishery. The problem is when they scope the fishery and they start to establish the fishery, it's like the proverbial camel's nose under the corner of the tent. Once they get in, it's difficult to stop that train from going down the tracks.
Right.
So what we were able to do is to get the Pacific Fisheries Management Council to make a definitive decision to either delay or eliminate the scoping process for shallow set long lines outside of the EEZ, the EEZ being the 200-mile limit of federal waters. So they were going to fish this gear outside of 200 miles, but the problem is the fish that we all like to catch, tuna,
coming from
swordfish, billfish, they go in and out of that freely.
Yes.
It's not like there's a gate there. It's not a fence.
No.
So that fishery would be another component hammering on our swordfish and tuna and other species.
And there's already a couple of longline permits that are allowed within the EEZ.
There are some experimental permits. There are guys out of Hawaii that are fishing, outside of our EEZ.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we have the new deep set buoy gear guys that are permitted to fish 10 sets of gear each.
Which is a much more sustainable fishery.
It is much more sustainable, and they are meant to replace the gill nets. But the fact is, there's still 16 or 18 drift gill net guys out there fishing.
Yeah.
So you have lots of pressure on the resource.
Yeah.
And we just felt that shallow set long lines, number one, it's not a clean fishery. Number two, it's an extra component that we don't need. Let's let the deep set buoy gear guys have their whack at it because it's almost 100% clean fishery.
Yes.
Which is crazy. I mean, that kind of thing doesn't really happen. And the fact
unusual.
that it is.
The only other fishery I know that's that clean is the harpoon fishery.
Right.
Which is almost zero bycatch.
Zero bycatch.
So we're hoping that the deep set buoy guys are successful and those guys can make some money and catch some fish, and we can all be out there in the ocean getting along and having a good time and doing what we love to do without excessive amounts of gear.
And destructive fisheries like longlines. Yeah,
exactly.
And gill nets. Yeah, for sure. Well, good for you guys and good for AFTCO for all that they do to keep our fisheries safe and for our future, too. Now, big deal here. This is going to be the last show Greg is going to be on as an AFTCO representative because the old guy's retiring.
Not the old guy.
Watch the old guy.
He's not even
old.
He's way older than he is. I'm going to tell you, and I'm not retiring.
Hey, I commend Greg at his age for being able to do it because a lot of guys cannot step away from work and do it.
Yeah, well, congratulations, Greg. We're just
Thank you,
thrilled
guys.
for you. You're retiring December 31st.
I am.
From
December
AFTCO.
31st, yes.
And the guy stepping into your shoes is the one and only Robbie Gant.
Robbie Gant from Shimano, who was their West Coast sales manager. Great guy. He's going to do an awesome job. We've had a great time working with him. Of course, I've known Robbie for many years.
Robbie's a great guy.
And he's young and energetic, has a young family. He's a veteran of the tackle industry.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to fit perfectly at AFTCO.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for him and for AFTCO. And you know what, guys? I mean, if not for the Shed family and their forethought and their care for their employees, I wouldn't be retiring at 60 years old.
Yeah.
But our company has such an awesome profit sharing plan, and I've been blessed to be able to be employed there for nearly 34 years.
34 years.
And it's allowed me to have some freedoms relatively early in my life that a lot of folks would never have. So I can't thank the Shed family and just the whole AFTCO culture has been just awesome. And Robbie's he's gonna do great, and he's gonna love working there.
Well, congratulations, Greg.
Thank you.
It's really quite an achievement. I'm very, very happy for you. And the good news is you're going to be able to fish during the week with me.
Yes,
that's
absolutely.
a beautiful thing. So, what are you going to do in your retirement?
Well, number one, I'm going to spend more time with my grandkids.
Great.
My grandson Gregory and my granddaughter Brookie are 9 and 10 years old, and they love going on the boat with Papa.
Sweet.
And with Vivian. And so we'll spend a lot of time with them, and I'll be able to fish during the week, which I love to do when there's no crowds. Right. I won't be having to pull my boats around when I got to go through freeway traffic and deal with all that. So a lot of it is, and I love to hunt too. I love to bird hunt. So this time of year when I want to be duck and pheasant and goose hunting, I can go, and I can go when the weather is timed properly. And
I think your retirement's timed perfectly. Waterfowl season and
Right. So I'm going to be busy, and I've got 3 boats to I'm going to do my best to wear the motors out on all 3 boats.
Cool. That's awesome. And spend a lot of time with Vivian, who's still going to be working.
Yes.
At AFTCO.
She's still going to be working at AFTCO for a while and for quite a while, and somebody's got to finance my
Absolutely. Yeah, I like that idea. I like that idea. Well,
Thank you, Vivian.
Yeah, congratulations, Greg. I'm
Thank
just
you.
thrilled for you and very excited for the fortunate position that you put in. And like you say, the Sheds are just like one-of-a-kind people that just put
I'm very blessed.
Yeah,
very
for
blessed.
sure.
Thank you very
Indeed.
much.
Hey, let's find out what's biting on the water. Your saltwater guide is here, and it's the fishdope.com report. It's sponsored in part by Gamakatsu. 2 years ago, Gamakatsu set out to develop the hook light enough for live bait to swim naturally, yet strong enough to handle your next trophy bluefin or yellowfin. The answer? It's the Gamakatsu Nautilus HD, the heavy duty. The new Nautilus HD is available with a solid ring or a standard hook. Get it now at selected tackle stores and get ready to be bit for sure. Dave Hansen, your saltwater guide, what's up?
Well, good morning, Pete, Corey, Greg. Congratulations on your retirement.
Thanks, Dave.
Hey, guys, Greg's talking a lot about the Shed family. If you want to learn all about the beginning of AFTCO and Milt and Bill and the whole thing, there's a whole series on the family on my website at Your Saltwater Guide. There's a whole series about it. So if you guys want to check that out, it's pretty interesting. Bill was nice enough to give me a bunch of his time. We toured the warehouse and we got some good interview with Bill. So if you want to check that out, go to my website. But hey, Greg, big thing happened at that fisheries meeting. Somebody retired at that meeting, didn't they?
They did. The Godfather.
Yeah.
Yes,
he did. Big deal, guys. He's put a lot of time in for us for a long time, and I didn't hear it mentioned on the show here this morning, so I thought we'd thank my father right now real quick. I know I'm supposed to talk about fishing, but I just wanted to throw that out there.
Absolutely. Don Hansen, he's how old is your dad now?
He's going to be 86.
And he still was working. I mean,
I saw him there. Yeah, good for him. That's awesome.
And thank you, Don, for all that
legacy
you did for fisheries and all you did for the future of our fishing. He put his time in. There's no doubt about that.
Absolutely. So thank you, Dad. Thank you very much. So, hey, the fishing. My gosh, did you see what Booger did yesterday, Pete?
Unbelievable.
Can you believe this?
Yeah.
It's the end of the season. He's leaving it. He's not even on an overnight trip. He had over 120 tuna yesterday. So, I mean, come on, guys. It's the end of November. Unfortunately, if you take a look, though, I think you guys want to get Monday and Tuesday in as quick as you can because it looks like we're going to have rain on the schedule off and on for the next 10 days. So try to get out there as quick as you can. Get in on that yellowfin tuna bite like Brian Woolley was saying, though. Time to gear up for rockfish, and halibut. That bottom fishing thing's going to be what's going to get us through here for the next couple of months, I believe. So make sure you get out there and do that rockfish thing, learn some spots, get all that going for you. And rain means lobsters. So you might get some lobsters for your freezer for Christmas dinner here. We're hoping for the rain because I love lobster fishing. We're wishing that it wasn't going to rain because I love tuna fishing, but we'll take whatever they give us.
Hey, here in Southern California, we're blessed with so many different fisheries. We can fish right through the year. And, of course, your saltwater guide, Dave Hansen, keeps Danny and the guys at fishdope.com informed of what's going on there. $20 off a new membership to fishdope.com using the code HookupNow, lowercase, no space. HookupNow is your $20 code for a new membership to fishdope.com. What a great gift for an angler, right, Dave?
Absolutely. You got to have it if you're going fishing in Southern California. I know I look at it every day just to see if I've missed anything. So it's good to know what's going on out there every single day, and Danny and the boys at Fish Dope keep a good handle on it.
No doubt about it. And how do we find you, Dave?
YourSaltwaterGuide.com. My website's full of really cool videos. Like I said, lots of really cool interviews also, guys. There's stuff on there for everybody. And also, we do the guiding thing. We go with you on your boat. Check out my website, YourSaltwaterGuide.com, and I'll talk to you guys next Sunday.
All right. Happy Thanksgiving. Talk to you next Sunday. Appreciate that. All right. Phones are packed. Corey, let's jump into it.
Let's do it, Pete. Let's talk to Charlie. Charlie's calling from Gardena this morning. Welcome to the show this morning, Charlie.
Hey, good morning, Pete, Corey.
Hey, good
morning. And Greg. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Thank you.
Greg, I had a quick series of questions, about 3 of them. If you can answer them, would be great.
Sure.
Number 1, how do you spell Shay? Number 2, why do you use a snell hook on your leaders for your marlin? And number 3, if you could talk about the product of the Psycho, is more as like, how does the diameters, the suppleness, is it rigid? How does that stack up against the rest of the manufacturers?
Great.
And happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
Yeah, thank you very much. Those are great questions. So the first question, how do you spell Shea? H-S-I-E-H. H-S-I-E-H.
And if you Google Team Bad Company too, Marlin Fishing, Anthony's name would come up.
Yeah, if you put Bad Company up, there'll be a zillion hits for that.
Yeah.
And then the second question there about
the snailed
the snell hooks.
Yeah, why did you snell hooks on the leader?
So here's the thought on the snell. So we when we snell the circle hooks for the billfish, we put the leader in from the bottom side of the hook. In other words, from the bend side of the hook, not the back, but the bend side. Then you go through the eye, you snell the hook in place so that when the fish bites the bait and when the line comes tight, the leader has a tendency to pull the point of the hook back into the corner of the fish's jaw. It's the geometry of it works.
It totally makes sense
in a strange way, but it pulls itself back towards the point of the hook, which then turns it into the corner of the jaw of the fish.
And any other knot would be on the eye of the hook, which would allow like a swiveling.
It would allow it to swivel, exactly.
I get it.
That's exactly what it is. So that snell was key. We had, I'm not going to tell you that in 900 fish we didn't have a few that came up smoking, but not too many of them. Very, very few bleeding fish. And we used an 8.0 fine wire. I think it was an Eagle Claw EL 2004, if I'm not mistaken. So a fine wire hook, so we didn't do very much damage. Even though we were throwing mackerel, it would have been a way lighter hook than I would have ever used locally. Yeah. But for what we were doing, it was perfect. But the snell is key with the circle hook to get it to turn properly into the jaw of the fish and not catch prematurely in a gill rake or the throat or the roof of the mouth.
But I totally get it. I mean, any other knot would allow the swiveling of the hook and not... by snelling it, you're creating a rigidness.
Yes.
And when you come tight, it actually puts the point of the hook.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
And we went through well over 1,000 liters. Might have been 1,200 liters down there that were all pre-snelled with cyclofluorocarbon leader. Wow. The cyclofluorocarbon, the main thing that we went for with that leader, true diameter, so it's not fat. It's not deceptive. It's not. We don't say it's 80 pound, but it's really 100 pound. So we've got very true diameters as compared to any other fluorocarbon. We've got
80 pound is 80 pound.
80 pound is 80 pound. It's going to break.
It's not thinner. It's not.
No, it's
thicker.
not going to break at 110 pounds. It breaks at just over 80 pounds. In every case, every size of line will break slightly over, but not ridiculously over what it's rated for.
Right.
But the main thing we went for was abrasion resistance and knot strength. Normally, you get abrasion resistance from having a real fat or a real hard leader material. This leader is neither of those. It's not real fat. It is the formula. It's the resin that we use, and we literally went through 4 different formulas to settle on this. We call it Type D because of ABCD. It was the D formula. We actually went to the factory. We flew over to the factory, and they first developed the leader. There was a big section in the middle from about 20 to 50 pound that we didn't like the properties. We had to go back to the drawing board, delayed the whole project 6 months to develop from C to D to give us the properties that we wanted. And our after abrasion strength is phenomenal. Wow. It is the best on the market. So if you got a bluefin tuna, you've been fighting him for an hour on 100 pound, he's worn through the leader, you've got just a little bit of strength left. At that point in time, our leader is going to have more strength than anybody else.
That's crazy. Wow. And so Charlie was asking about the suppleness of it, too.
Yeah, it's not the softest leader you're ever going to use. It's also not the hardest. But I can tell you this, you can tie a snell knot easily.
Wow.
I was tying back-to-back unis in 80 pound, 3 or 4 turn uni, no problem at all. Yeah. Turning it over by hand, wet it a little bit, cinch it down, trim the ends, cast out. And
so then let me
striper.
ask you this. So I'm a listener listening to this, and I want to go purchase some. Can we find it in a local shop?
You can. Yeah, Fisherman's Landing's got it now. Melton's got it. I think the Longfin's got it. Pretty much most of the local stores have got it.
The dealers, yeah.
And you can certainly get it online if you need to go that direction. But we'd encourage you to go to a dealer and get it.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I know
you're now selling your tackle products online too.
Absolutely. Yeah. The consumer hardware is all
AFTCO.com.
AFTCO.com.
Yeah. And so a listener outside of the area, the Longfin or Milton's or the Fisherman's Landing, if they're way far away and they're not going to go down to Fisherman's on a trip soon, they can go on to
they can go on AFTCO.com and get it, but we would encourage them to go to the dealer.
Absolutely, first and foremost.
All right, Charlie, thanks. Good questions. Thanks a lot for the call
really
this morning. Let's find out what's cooking. Yanni from Fisherman'sBelly.com. What are we cooking today, Yanni?
Good morning, gentlemen. What a great show. I'll tell you what we're cooking. We are cooking yellowtail because this is my favorite time of year to chase, hunt down, and cook yellowtail. I'm telling you, oh, my God. For all those guys who are out there with their surface irons, forget it. The yellowtail are starting to transition. They're in mid-column right now, and they're on their way to the bottom. And when you get fortunate enough to figure all that out and start catching yellowtail regularly in the fall and the winter, come home and try my new recipe. It's a fried yellowtail hamachi. And I am telling you, this recipe is not only super, super delicious and authentic, following the traditions of the Japanese, but it's so easy to make. You can make my new dish in 15 minutes or less. And there you have it.
Wow. And, of course, that's at Fisherman'sBelly.com. You can get that recipe, and then we'll have it up at Let'sTalkHookup.com on our Anglers Table section very soon. Once again, Yanni, love yellowtail. That sounds like a great recipe, and we'll talk to you in a couple weeks. Happy Thanksgiving to you.
Happy Thanksgiving to all the listeners out there and to you guys, and happy yellowtail hunting. We'll see you guys.
All right, we're ready for that. All right, appreciate it, Yanni. Thanks very much.
Yeah, good stuff from Yanni. I love all of Yanni's stuff. And we're going to be right back on Let's Talk Hookup. More from Greg and AFTCO. We're going to be right back on Southern California's Sport Fishing Voice and the Let's Talk Hookup app and network.
Have you always wanted a boat but don't want all the hassles? Then you need to join Freedom Boat Club, where you get hassle-free boating. Freedom Boat Club buys the boats, you enjoy them, and they do the rest. Freedom Boat Club takes care of the slip fee, maintenance, insurance, and cleaning. You have access to a fleet of great fishing and family boats ready to go in the water at Mission Bay, San Diego Bay, and 190-plus locations across the world. For more information, check freedomboatclub.com or visit them at Dana Landing and Cabrillo Isle Marina.
This is Greg Stotesbury from AFTCO. For more than 58 years, the American Fishing Tackle Company has been recognized as the premier manufacturer of precision-built offshore fishing tackle. AFTCO continues this tradition today with an innovative technical fishing clothing line designed and built by fishermen for fishermen. From our next-generation waterproof shorts like Tactical or Stealth to our new anhydrous waterproof jacket and bibs, the entire AFTCO clothing line is purpose-built with the latest AFTEC fabrics and features designed to deliver for the demanding angler. To find AFTCO products, go to AFTCO.com and find a dealer near you.
G'day folks, Damon Olsen from Nomad Tackle. We're the tackle company from down under, making lures that catch fish everywhere. We've got an incredible range of gear that's catching a heap of fish in California right now. You'll hear us say crafted by experience a lot. It's because I've spent 20 years running Australia's biggest offshore charter operation on the Great Barrier Reef, and it's that hard-won knowledge that's gone into designing an amazing range of lures and tackle that are up to the toughest challenge. I design everything we make to catch more fish and work perfectly straight out of the box. I designed the patented auto-tune system on the DTX Minnow to ensure that the lures track straight, swim super fast and deep all the time. The DTX 200 dives to over 40 feet at 12 knots, and it's already proven itself as the must-have wahoo trolling lure with the long-range fleet. Our Buffalo Flashfall jigs are catching monster tuna and come rigged and ready with serious hooks. We've got everything you need for tuna, yellowtail, wahoo, and any other species you can dream of. So check us out now at nomadtackle.com and find your nearest dealer in Southern California right now.
When you put on a pair of Maui Jim sunglasses, the world begins to look different. Colors are more vivid. Contrast is clearer. Details are crisper. Wherever your vision leads you, beauty follows. With polarized lenses that eliminate glare and enhance color, Maui Jim sunglasses won't change the world. They'll change the way you see it. Color, clarity, detail. Maui Jim.
There's nothing more peaceful than fishing. Just me, my pole, and some bait. Oh, and my life jacket, of course. I like fish, but I don't want to end up at the bottom of the water with them. Save the ones you love. A message from California State Parks Division of Boating and Waterways.
Turner's Outdoorsman, Southern California's #1 shooting, hunting, and fishing tackle retailer since 1971, is right in your neighborhood. Now with stores throughout Southern, Central, and Northern California. No one does it better. Turner's Outdoorsman brings you the best prices and selection, plus a knowledgeable staff that will help make your day on the water or in the field more fun. Stop by your neighborhood Turner's Outdoorsman. To find a location nearest you, check the web at turners.com and sign up for special deals and more.
Hookup!
All right, welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app and network.
Indeed. Look who's on the line. Ken Corwin, Ken's Custom Reels. Good morning, Ken.
Hello, Ken.
Good morning, guys.
Morning, Ken.
Good morning. Hey, Greg. Congratulations both on retirement. That's awesome. And your trip down there to Mag Bay. That's got to be a point in time that's I can't even imagine.
Yeah, Ken.
Awesome.
Thanks for that. It was an unbelievable trip, as you know. I mean, to get involved with an operation like that, with that kind of a team, and have those kinds of results, it's pretty rare in fishing that the conditions all come together. But boy, they definitely came together that first day.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I just real quick, we had a 10-day on the American Angler a few weeks ago. We were down there. We made everybody up leaders out of your new product, both in 40 and 50 pound, and I fished 30 pound. And the whole boat, we had no failures. We pulled on a lot of fish. I personally tried to break the 30 pound and never was successful at it. So awesome job, good stuff. Can't wait to get it in the shop.
You're talking about the Psycho Pro, the new fluorocarbon from AFTCO.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a great testimonial, Ken. Thank you.
We tried to break it and couldn't do it. Plus, we had 20 other people trying to do that. And,
wow.
100% success, so good stuff.
30 pound.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's awesome. You know, you called me. I was on my way up north to Oregon. I was going duck and goose hunting over the weekend. When you called me, I was about mid Highway 5, somewhere up in NorCal, and really enjoyed hearing about that. And I know that you and your anglers are very discriminating types, and to hear you say that about the line and having that kind of success, that's an awesome testimonial. Thank you.
I'm a fan.
All right, cool, Ken. Hey, keep up the great work at Ken's Custom Reels in Oceanside, and thanks for the testimonial on the AFTCO Psycho Pro Leader. Appreciate that very much. Let's go ahead and jump back in the phone.
Sounds great, Pete. Let's talk to Kevin. Kevin calling from La Jolla this morning. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup, Kevin.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
Hey, Kevin.
Very good, thanks.
Well, it's a beautiful day out here. You guys got it right at the beginning of this show when you guys said it was going to be a beautiful day. It's gorgeous out here.
Indeed it is.
Hey, I've been wearing that AFTCO apparel for a long time, and I'm actually shedding some layers here. I got the Proteus on, the lightweight bibs, and they are fantastic. I have worn AFTCO 7 days this week in a row. So
Me too.
Kevin, you spend a lot of time in that kayak, don't you?
Yeah, it's been good out here. But it's a great apparel for kayak fishing that's really lightweight, and you don't have to worry about getting your waders full of water because you wear these lightweight bibs, and they're great being able to keep you protected from the water. But that Psycho Pro fluorocarbon is really something else. I actually got it tied on right here right now, and it's really great abrasion-resistant fluorocarbon, and we've been using it at Hobie since the test period, and it's been fantastic. Nothing but great things to say.
Is this Sea Samurai himself?
It is.
Yeah.
Kevin Nakata?
I recognize the
Yeah. Hey, Kevin, tell me what, again, the bottoms that you're using in your kayak. What is that again?
This is the Proteus. I'm actually wearing it right now, and it's a lightweight bib instead of the anhydrous series, which is a little thicker and a lot more preventative for the rain and stuff like that. This is more of a lightweight kind of breaking the shell of the wetness kind of bib.
Nice. So you just use that as your bottoms when you're kayaking.
Yep. And then I break them off and have the packed pants underneath. That's the AFTCO. It's PACT. Those are some of the best fishing pants I've ever worn, and they've got a lot of plier pockets, and they have some really cool features on them that just set them apart.
Yeah, it's nice. It's kind of cool wearing them for kayaking. I mean, you get a little splash on you once in a while. Well, not with a pedal, but you definitely would, huh?
That's a great real world test platform right there. That's perfect.
Indeed. Yeah, they do it for sure. You guys are keeping up, doing some great stuff at Hobie, Kevin. Keep it up there with Morgan and you. Are doing fantastic work.
Well, thank you, and thanks AFTCO for making great products that we use every single day that we're out here fishing, and from people that fish to from another person that fishes, and and does crazy things like 330 marlin in one day, that's just insane. That's insane.
Indeed. Hey, Kevin, nice call. Thank you very much.
Appreciate you, Kevin.
that. Lots of fans out there for AFTCO products, Greg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're legitimate users, man. Kevin's on the water a ton.
Real deal
if
guy
he says
there.
it, believe it.
Yeah.
You
So
guys know.
explain again. Okay, I'm trying to get my head around what Kevin's using on the kayak, and he's talking about taking the pants off.
Well, we've got like this layering system now. So we've got all kinds of garments that kind of fit together. The packed pants that he's talking about are a performance pant that he's gone on underneath the Proteus bibs. The Proteus bibs are a lighter weight, less expensive, but extremely waterproof. Waterproof bib that goes over just a lot like the anhydrous, but they don't have all the technical features and pockets and all that. The main thing they have is great waterproof and lightweight. So they're the perfect over pant to wear over the top of something like a pack.
And they're not rubbery. They're not.
No, they're not rubbery.
Yeah.
And you're not gonna cook in them. They're a waterproof, breathable fabric. So you get some breathability. So you're not gonna burn up in them. Perfect for what he's doing. And kayak guys, they beat their stuff up because they're in it. They're right on the water. They can't control the conditions, and so if Kevin says it and those are working good for him, believe it. That guy he's out there.
And then the pants underneath are what?
The packed pants that are underneath it are performance pant that have multiple pockets. They're super comfortable. They dry fast. They're not going to chafe you. And
those are the new pants.
Those are brand new.
Yeah, I have a pair of those. They're great.
Yeah I've only worn them a couple times.
Yeah.
Just mostly because we haven't had cold enough weather to get me out of my shorts.
It's kind of my travel pant now.
Yes.
It's really comfortable to travel in and stuff like
comfortable
that.
waistband. I think they have the drawstring waist.
Yeah, they do have a drawstring.
But it's perfect for Kevin. He's launching La Jolla. It could be chilly in the morning, daylight, and wet, of course, and you can peel the layers off as the day.
It's a great choice. We get such great input from the Hobie guys because, again, they're people that they're really on the water.
Hey, Morgan, Kevin. I mean,
guys are hardcore.
The Lanes, how does it get any better?
Yeah.
Hey, Jeff at Cedros Kayak Fishing. I see him. I see him wearing all the stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
You've got a great group of AFTCO pros.
We do.
And they go out and test the stuff and get feedback to you, and that's why AFTCO product is so good.
Our fresh and saltwater teams are both phenomenal right now.
Yeah.
I mean, we really have, I think, most all of the best guys are wearing our product and giving us feedback on it. And we bring those guys in every once in a while for design meetings and all that. So we get input from people that are real users of the product, not just guys that talk about it and get pictures in magazines, but guys that are like Kevin. He's a perfect example.
That use it.
Legit.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Legitimate.
Yeah, for sure. Not just guys that talk about it like me and Corey.
You guys are hardcore users.
But we
both
use
of
it too, right?
Right.
Definitely.
And we get to talk about it, which is the fun part, right? Hey, let's go and jump back in the phone.
Let's talk to Dan. Dan's calling from El Cajon this morning. Dan, welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey guys, great show and happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
I wanted to know when you tie your leader to your braid, what's your knot of choice, and then what's your knot of choice to the hook.
So several different things there. I'm a big fan of the uni knot. So if I'm doing like leader to running monofilament line, I use back-to-back uni knot, so a 4-turn uni knot. If I'm tying leader to my braided line, there's only one knot I use, and that's the Collins knot. That knot is easy to tie, 5 up, 5 down, back through the eye, tighten it up. That's an awesome knot.
Works.
And then if I'm using a circle hook, I always use a snell knot. I usually use a 6 or 8 turn snell.
Really?
Yes. With the line entering through the bottom, like we talked about earlier, through the bend.
Is
side
that
of
a
the
classic snell or is that a reverse snell?
I use a reverse snell because it's quicker to tie. But I tie it both ways. And then for most all of my my other fishing, I like to use a snell if I'm using an up eye hook, like I'm using a hook like an owner SSW or anything like that. I tie a snell on that. I tie an 8-turn snell on an up eye hook with the line going straight in. And then for pretty much everything else, I use a 4 or 5-turn uni knot. I mean, really, I'd really do it all with and a bimini, of course, to make double line, but that's a whole different subject. Back-to-back uni knot connecting mono to mono or mono to fluorocarbon, to me, is money.
It works.
Yeah.
Yep. And easy to tie.
Super easy to tie.
Yeah.
We tied dozens of them down there in that marlin bite, so it's got good at it.
Hey, thanks a lot for the call, Dan. Good question. Appreciate that.
Yeah, really good one. Let's talk to Paul. Paul Combe from Bellflower this morning. Welcome to the show this morning, Paul.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
All right. My question is, I have two of them now. One is, what's the biggest marlin that you've ever caught, and how did you get your foot in the door with the AFTCO?
So the biggest marlin I ever caught, we released. We didn't weigh it, but it was somewhere over 1,000 pounds.
Whoa!
And it was in Madeira in 1996, fishing with a guy by the name of Stuart Campbell on a boat called the Chunda.
Wow!
And Peter Wright on board, and
Legends.
Barky Garnsey, and Charles Perry, and of course Bill Shedd, and my buddy Elmer Alfafara from Shimano was with us. And Elmer caught a giant too, and caught an 80-pound stand-up
blue marlin.
It was a blue marlin, quarter-mile outside of town. And it was a bait and switch deal. Came up on the teaser and switched it off to a mackerel, and that was back in the 90s. And then the second half of your question was
how you got in with AFTCO.
Oh, how I got in with AFTCO.
Yeah.
So I was a custom rod builder and did a lot of tournament fishing, and was lucky enough to spend a lot of time fishing with my dad back in the 80s, and had my own. I was partners in a machine shop business in Gardena. And one of my good friends was a guy by the name of Terry Randall, who had owned Arts Tackle in Gardena. Terry was good friends with Bill Shedd.
I miss that shop, by the way.
Yeah, it's a good store. Terry was good friends with Bill Shedd, and Bill Shedd at the time, AFTCO was growing. This is in the early 80s. Was looking for a sales manager, and Terry dropped my name, and I went down and interviewed and got run through the gauntlet 3 different times with Bill and his folks, and with Bill again, and got hired as kind of junior sales manager back in 1980, the middle of the 80s there somewhere, 85, 86, something like that. So it was kind of a fortuitous thing that happened.
It fell into place.
But when one thing I did know, I'd used AFTCO guides for years building custom rods, and when I heard they were looking for a sales manager and that it was going to be selling AFTCO, I remember distinctly telling my partner in the business, "Hey, I'm going to be getting a new job here. This is where I'm going to work."
That's cool.
And it worked,
and 33 years later,
yeah,
and it's crazy over 3 decades to imagine like what you're describing, how AFTCO was at that time, and what it is today. It's like amazing what you have helped bring to the forefront.
Really. Yeah, the company's grown tremendously, and through the leadership of the Sheds, it's really grown into what it is today. I mean, it's been.
And you're still going to kind of do some side projects.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope to be able to be involved somehow, and of course I'll be involved with CCA with you on the board there,
and be back on the show here talking more fish stories.
Yes, sir. Well, you and I are going to have a lot of stories.
Yeah, I hope so. Indeed. Hey, thanks a lot for the call this morning.
Those stories might start this afternoon.
Let's hope so.
Yeah, right. Hey, let's talk to Mark. Mark calling from Santee this morning. Welcome to the show this morning, Mark.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Great.
Well, thanks.
Hey, my question is for Greg. Are you ever going to come out with, or you might have it now, I don't know, a deck boot?
You know, that's a great question. Deck boots are something we looked at. The process to make deck boots is kind of unusual. It's all going to be done overseas, and there's different materials that you deal with, neoprenes and rubbers, true rubbers, and all that they use to manufacture deck boots. We actually got one almost 100% designed. And when we got it all finished and we got the costing all down for all the different sizes and for the manufacturing process, the numbers just didn't make sense. We didn't think we could sell enough to really make it work. But I will almost guarantee you that somewhere in the future you're going to see a lot more in footwear from AFTCO. And I'm not saying that I'm involved with it or that I know that for certain, but I just know that the business is going to evolve to the point where we're going to need a good deck boot and some good footwear options.
Sure.
And that's a great question. Thank you.
All right. Keep your eyes peeled at AFTCO.com for sure. Thanks a lot for the call this morning.
Let's talk to Rob. Rob calling from La Jolla this morning. Hey, Rob, welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Good morning, guys. Yeah, I got to say about yesterday's show was not bad at all.
Hey, John Collins.
Okay.
He's great.
Yeah. That was a great show. My question is for you guys, all you guys, as far as what's the shortest time it took you to land a swordfish, and the longest time it took you to land a swordfish?
A marlin or a swordfish?
Marlin. Swordfish.
Swordfish?
Marlin. Okay, we'll go with marlin. How about that?
Well, with marlin, we had a few fish on the trip down there that we landed in 10 seconds.
10 seconds.
Yeah, literally. I mean, the fish would come up jumping right next to the boat and jump his way right up underneath the pulpit, and you reach down and grab the leader and release the fish. So that happens. And that happened lots of times. Lots and lots of times. The marlin would he'd run or jump at the boat. I mean, I had several fish, I couldn't keep up with them. And by the time I got tight, they were literally at my feet.
That sounds chaotic.
It was very chaotic.
Yeah.
But
and what was the longest time you pulled on one on this record-setting 330 fish day?
I had one fish that stretched me out for an hour, and I didn't catch him. I ended up breaking him off.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, and I was the last one hooked up. It was kind of embarrassing, and I was up on the pulpit, and Lastly was screaming and yelling at me because I wasn't landing the fish. But you know, at the end of the day, I was on a 9-foot casting rod.
Oh.
The drag was shot in the reel. I didn't have enough strength in my hands to grab the spool and break the line until I finally got right up over the top of the fish and was able to get disconnected. But the thing beat me up there for a little while.
If the drag was shot, it was not a Shimano reel.
Yeah, it was not
Something
that
else.
brand.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say, just clarifying there.
No,
that's talking about Shimano.
You knew what I was alluding to.
Yes, indeed. All right. Hey, Rob, good question. Thanks a lot for the phone call. And we'll follow up on his first part. Swordfish. How many Southern California swordfish have you caught?
I've only caught a couple.
Yeah.
I haven't caught that many.
Only a couple. Yeah. Hey,
I mean, I've caught I caught my surface fish at Clementi. Oh gosh, it was back in the early 2000s, and it was not a big fish. It was a 120-pounder, but I was on 30-pound tackle and spent 2 hours on that fish, mostly because I didn't want to break the fish off and didn't want to pull the hook out. So I probably could have pulled a little harder. That fish was a couple hours. We had our biggest swordfish on the boat, which was a deep drop fish, was 273 pounds.
Whoa.
Up at Santa Cruz Island a couple months ago.
Wow.
And that fish we were on, I think, an hour and 50 minutes.
Wow. Pretty quick for
on
a big
80,
fish.
and that fish pulled really hard.
And
that was full harness, lots of drag. Fish was 50 feet under the boat, just like a giant bluefin, would not come up.
Wow.
And so we're running the boat forward, trying to lead the fish.
Trying to plane him up.
Yeah. Eventually got him in the lead, and he came up, but I literally could not reach the fish with a gaff. And my brother came out of gear, and the fish charged the boat, put its bill through our swim step, broke the end of its bill off, just as I was putting an 8-inch fly gaff in the side of his face.
Oh.
And then he went nuts at the boat. So it was not an easy win. It was not an easy fish.
I can
That's
imagine.
crazy.
Yeah. What? And swordfish can be dangerous next to a boat, right?
This fish was all about business. He was like an old battler, an old warrior. He had an old stainless steel long line hook in his pec fin.
Really?
Our hook fell out on the gaff, so we were disconnected from the fish. All we had him by was the two gaffs. And he was full of worms and scars all over him. It was not a pretty fish at all.
And where do you gaff a swordfish?
So with the flying gaff, I try to place it in the head or the shoulder. Try to get as big a bite as I can because swordfish are soft and they'll tear off the hook.
Yeah.
And with this fish, I was lucky enough to go in right about at the port side pec fin, and it came out right through the gill.
Okay.
And the fish was, of course, bleeding like crazy, but still went absolutely crazy at the boat.
Unbelievable.
If I wouldn't have been on a flying gaff, I'd have yanked the gaff out of my hand in a heartbeat.
They're warriors.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to get a tail rope on those things?
We did get a tail rope on the fish.
Yeah.
You want to, but you got to be, of course, really careful.
I'll bet.
And,
strategic with that one.
Yeah. Once we got the business end secured, I put the rope on a cleat. We were able to reach out with another gaff him in the tail, hold the tail close to the boat where we get a tail rope on it, and then once we got him hogtied, he was done.
Literally hogtied.
Yeah.
Do you drag him backwards to kill him?
No. We pulled the fish up on the step
and
just tightened everything up where he couldn't do anything. And I think I reached down and took one of our big fillet knives and stuck it in his gills and bled him out.
Yeah.
And that was that. But it was not easy. He was feisty.
That's crazy.
Crazy
lot going on there. Hey, we're going to be right back on Let's Talk Hookup. We'll return on the Let's Talk Hookup app and network.
It's Yamaha's Why Wait for Spring Fall Sales Event from October 1st to November 26th. Take advantage of special offers on eligible new 2.5 to 300 horsepower 4-strokes and be ready to hit the water in spring. For details, visit YamahaOutboards.com or your local Yamaha Outboards dealer today. Yamaha. Reliability starts here. For a limited time only. Offer ends November 26, 2019. Subject to change. Other restrictions and conditions apply. Select models excluded. See authorized participating Yamaha Outboard dealers for details. Cannot be used with any other Yamaha offer.
The name that stands out among anglers is Fisherman's Landing, your top choice in local and long-range fishing. Hi, this is Doug Kern. Our hard-working crew will make sure your fishing experience is one to remember. We offer the finest open party trips from 1 to 3 days, the best charter boats available, and of course, our world-renowned long-range fleet is second to none. Fisherman's Landing is a full-service operation offering great half-day trips on the Dolphin and full-day open party trips on the spacious and comfortable Liberty. Since we introduced the full-day trips at Fisherman's Landing, the 85-foot Liberty has become a favorite among full-day operations with bunks for your comfort, huge bait capacity, and RSW fish holds to keep your catch fresh. Plus, Liberty has a big modern galley and 2 interior heads with showers. All our open party trips from half-day, full, or 1 to 3 day trips can easily be booked online at fishermanslanding.com or give us a call at 619-221-8500. I'll see you at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego.
When it comes to fishing rods for saltwater, there's just one name you need to know, CalStar. Take, for example, the Graphiter series. It's a true graphite and fiberglass composite rod, the finest it's ever been built. And for anglers seeking traditional performance, durability, and quality at an affordable price, the CalStar West Coast series of rods and blanks are the ones for you. Their master craftsmen bring decades of rod building experience to every rod they make. So if you want your fishing rods to be truly state-of-the-art, I always recommend CalStar at fine tackle stores everywhere.
22nd Street Landing Sport Fishing in San Pedro is home to LA's finest open party fleet, including overnights on the Freedom, Catalina Freelance on the Pursuit, half-day trips on the Monte Carlo, and 3/4-day trips on the Native Sun. Plus, you can charter the Ultra, Spectra, and True Line. There is always plenty of free parking and a fully stocked tackle store. Take advantage of the Wednesday specials on the Pursuit and Monte Carlo, and kids fish free with a paid adult on the afternoon half-day. 22nd Street Landing Sport Fishing in San Pedro. Call 310-832-8304 or book online at 22ndstreet.com.
Hey, welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. And, man, we're talking about it all day, the fillet knives and the Psycho fluorocarbon. And one lucky winner today, Roger from Fullerton, has won those 3 knives from AFTCO and the 3 spools of 100% Psycho fluorocarbon.
Yeah, great stuff, man. And that Psycho fluorocarbon is now available online at AFTCO.com, as well as all the products. You can buy all that gear, or better yet, at your local dealer like Fisherman's Landing Tackle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. All the good dealers are carrying the stuff now, and
Dana Landing.
Dana Landing's got it.
Dana Landing's got.
Oh, Dana has the Psycho.
Yes,
they do.
The Psycho
nice.
and the AFTCO clothing and stuff.
Yeah.
Dana Landing, yeah.
Dana and Fisherman's were 2 of the very first to order it.
Yeah.
So they've had it in for a while. They've had a great experience with it.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can get it there. And the knives should be in stock there too. Both all the 8, 10, and the 12-inch.
Those
AFTCO
knives
fillet
are cool.
Yeah, wait till you cut fish with them.
Yeah,
you're gonna love them.
They're impressive. The handle, the feel of the knife. It's a very, very nice knife.
Thank you.
And a nice price point too.
Yeah. They're I think they're going to be a very popular item.
Yeah.
Sounds like a nice kind of Christmas gift, right?
Perfect Christmas gift.
Yeah, good Christmas gift. All right.
It's a perfect gift item.
Well, hey, hold down the fort over there at AFTCO, Vivian. For sure. And that's Greg's wife, of course. And we thank the Sheds and Greg and everybody for all their support of Let's Talk Hookup and all their support of the fishing industry. And Greg, first of all, congratulations. I'm so excited for your retirement. And the good news is you're not going away. You're coming back.
Thank you, Pete. Let's go catch a swordfish.
Yeah, okay, let's do it. And, hey, thank you to Brian and Adam on the right there doing all the great stuff behind the scenes here on Let's Talk Hookup. And thank you all out there very much. We'll be back next Saturday and Sunday. Oh, boy, Kevin Mattson, avid angler and traveler, will be with us next Saturday. That's going to be a great show, 7 and 9 a.m. I'll be in beautiful Chicago, coming back, though, for next Sunday's broadcast, which next Sunday is going to be a great show with Greg Gowett from the Aztec. Captain Greg will be here. Thanks for listening today. We'll see you next week right back here on the Let's Talk Hookup app and network.